Dear future me, oh my god, have the past 2 days been a fucking roller coaster of emotions, bro? Holy shit. So at the time of recording this, it's January 19th, 2025. TikTok was banned yesterday and then unbanned today. So before I get into that, I just want to say I have some learnings that I've actually introspected on and that I want to talk about in this video, but I'll kind of get the life update sort of craziness out of the way first. So TikTok ban. So yesterday, it was crazy timing because unfortunately I was on call at work. So I was on a call to troubleshoot something at I was like 7 or 8 p.m. I want to say, and I started at 7 p.m. and there was a little bit of downtime in between. And I think around like 8 p.m. or so, I had opened up TikTok and I noticed it was fucking banned. And I was so upset because like the day before yesterday, I made this video basically saying like, I only want to see memes about the TikTok ban. I only want to see like things about it. I don't want y'all to pretend like nothing's happening. I want to fucking face it head on. I can't pretend like this ban is not happening. So only make videos and memes about this TikTok ban, everybody. I want to see that only. So like, that's what I said the day before yesterday. And I was planning to spend my, Saturday night doom scrolling to the very end. I was gonna doom scroll up until midnight, but fucking, of course, yeah, the fucking work thing happened. I had an issue to triage, to troubleshoot for work. And I was so upset because I was like, oh my god, what are the fucking chances? Normally when I'm on call, like nothing ever happens, but for some fucking reason today, an issue happened, and it wasn't even a real issue, which pissed me off the most. Like towards the end of it, we debugged for maybe like 3 hours, bro, or like 4 hours from like 6 or 7 to like 9 or 10. It was fucking dumb. And I was so upset because it's like, that was such a big deal to me. Like TikTok being banned was such a big deal to me. So I was so upset that I didn't get to spend the final moments scrolling. I had to do fucking work. And I was so sad about it. Luckily, one of my coworkers also, who was on it, she also uses TikTok. We kind of bonded like, oh my God, we're missing the TikTok ban. Like we didn't get to doom scroll for the last final minutes. But anyways, so that happened. It got banned. And the funny thing is, I feel like, dude, I'll kind of go into each point a bit more, but I feel like I had one of those, like, everything happens for a reason moments. And let me kind of talk about that a bit. So get this. So the day before, or rather like a couple days, actually, yeah, literally Friday night, I was talking to my friends. We have like a group chat in Messenger, Facebook Messenger, and I was telling everyone like, oh my God, y'all, I'm gonna freaking boycott Meta. Like, fuck them. Like, Wuckyberg is trying to fucking like ban TikTok. So like, fuck his apps. I'm uninstalling Instagram. I'd already like deactivated my Instagram and Facebook accounts, but I was like, look, I'm cutting the cord. I'm finally making the leap and getting off of Messenger. Like, fuck Meta for sure. So, but the thing is, like, I deleted my Messenger Friday night, but I hadn't actually like set up the Discord server that I agreed with my friends that we're going to use instead of Messenger. And so Saturday, right? Saturday happens, the TikTok ban thing happens. And then maybe at like 10 o'clock when I get off of the call for the work issue, I'm like, fuck, I want to like go complain to my friends a bit. And I was like, oh shit, like I don't have Messenger anymore. So I have to go onto my laptop, go into Messenger to like tell them. And I realized, dude, this is where like the everything happens for a reason moment kind of happened, where my friend had messaged me earlier in the day inviting me to like go to a cafe with him and our other friend and to like just hang out for a little bit, like go to a cafe, maybe like do a little bit of work on our laptops or whatever, and then potentially like hit up round one afterwards. But I had missed that message because I deleted Messenger on my phone. But the crazy part is, I'm actually really glad that it happened that way, because if I would have went with them, I would have gotten pinged at round one. Like I would have been at round one with my friends, and I would have been like, like on call, and they would have been like, hey, can you get on? Like there's an issue. And I would have been like, fuck, I'm at round one. So actually I kind of dodged a bullet there. But the other crazy thing is like, I was so pissed off about the whole thing. And actually I was pissed about, the fact that like I didn't have Messenger, so I missed the message for the hangout regardless of how the outcome would have been. So I was like, fuck, dude, I'm so pissed right now. I gotta set up Discord right now. I was like super motivated, so I finally deleted Messenger, or rather like I set up like Discord, and I was like doing all this permissions or whatever, getting the server set up. And then come to find out this morning, TikTok's back. And I'm like, okay, fucking cool, I guess. But it's, like I was kind of like too shocked to really have a reaction. I don't want to say I felt numb, but I was just kind of like, oh, okay. But it's like, I'm kind of glad it played out that way because it was almost like by me like working while the band was happening, I didn't have like the super sad feelings that probably would have came over me if I was like scrolling and then I opened it and it just like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have time to mourn or process like, oh my God, TikTok's really actually gone. It was just rage because I was like, fuck, I didn't get to like scroll in the last few minutes. And then it just came back and I was like, oh, like my, like I like barely had a reaction. So I don't know, man, that the universe kind of really helped me out there, I guess. It was a weird thing, but I'm not gonna lie, like I was a little bummed because genuinely I was like going to study Mandarin. I was gonna get so serious about studying Mandarin because I would have moved to Red Note and I would have been like actually motivated. I would have had like a legitimate reason to actually like learn Mandarin finally. But in all honesty, I'm not like set on it yet, but I actually might start learning Mandarin at some point in the near future. I don't want to say right now or anything. I have some other things I want to prioritize, but like in the near future, because I'm not gonna lie, like Red Note still is an interesting app, and I'm not gonna lie, like maybe my algorithm's getting a little biased now and it's starting to like show me a bunch of Chinese content because I keep looking at Red Note and stuff. But like I'm seeing like people talking about like how it is in the cities in China and stuff, and I'm like, that looks kind of fucking fire, low-key. Like, I kind of want to visit. Like, that looks fucking cool. So, I don't know. Maybe in the near future, I actually will, really pick up Mandarin and, like, really take learning seriously. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. But anyways, that was the drama. That was the TikTok ban stuff. But, yeah. So, anyways, on to the learnings. So this is kind of a stream of consciousness. So I typed up my notes here. It's kind of a stream of consciousness that also has some introspection and learnings to take away from it. So I was in the shower as per usual and I had my little introspection moment and I thought about these things and I think it'll be helpful to call it out. Like I wouldn't say they're learnings per se, they're more like reminders than anything. But the first bullet says, I went through that pattern again of almost getting excited about something and but then I cut myself off before it went too far. So what I mean by that is, as I was scrolling TikTok today, I saw this girl make a very compelling argument about why you should have a physical diary. Like she mentioned, like you can be super honest, you can like write without a filter. There's nobody who's gonna see it except for you. Like there's no like, record of it except for like physically if someone goes in your house, that's the only way they can access this information. And and just the idea of something analog was so appealing to me in that moment. And I like, as I saw that, I was already thinking like, ooh, like that would be a cool design for a journal, and like I can get these kinds of pens and I can put these stickers on and make it look super cool and customize and all this stuff. And then I thought about it and I was like, hold up, like I need to be real with myself for a moment because like I'm getting all excited, I'm getting all like thinking about like, oh, what am I gonna do and like customize it and all that shit and getting all excited about that. But I was like, realistically, am I gonna keep this habit up? Number one. Number two, am I actually gonna like benefit from this? Because she was talking about, and the things that I thought about were, she was mentioning, oh yeah, I would like read my entries from like 5-10 years ago. And then I thought about it and I was like, if I was writing super honestly and writing everything honestly and like without a filter, I don't think I wanna read that shit because like, in all honesty, I feel like my past, like, okay, this sounds kind of bad. I'm not like sympathy baiting here. I'm just being so real. Like when I was younger, dude, like life was fucking miserable. And like, I don't want to like relive that shit. You know what I mean? Like even, even though there are learnings from it, like I think if things are important enough, it'll stick in my head without me having to like relive all those terrible feelings. Like I just think about like my last, like again, I'm not trying to sound like existential or anything. I mean this in the sense that some things are better left forgotten, in my opinion. Like, I don't think I need to remember every, like, terrible rejection or, like, every embarrassing thing or cringy thing I did or thing that I terribly failed. Like, I think these videos have been all the good sides of like quote unquote having a diary with none of the downsides. And so that's what led me to think about making this type of video again where I'm just talking to the camera. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I'm actually jumping ahead of myself because that's one of the actual, I think, learnings that I wanted to talk about today. But anyways, so yeah, so I cut that off real quick. I was like, okay, look, no, don't get too excited about the diary thing. It's a cool idea, but like this video talking to the camera is more my style because first of all, I think I'm a yapper, so like it comes naturally to me to yap rather than writing. Like my handwriting fucking sucks. And also the fact that I can crank these out really fast, and the fact that I will actually revisit these videos and actually watch them. I think that's the thing. The diary's a great idea and everything, but realistically, I don't spend my time fucking sitting around reading all that much as I would like. Especially like something like a diary, I don't think I would really have motivation or like a good reason to do that. So anyways, all that to say, cut that off real quick. I think this format is what I'll do instead of a physical diary. But it was a fun little tangent, but kind of the lesson there, or like the reminder there, is like, keep an eye on these new little hobbies or little like distractions that come up because they seem fun on the surface, but when you think about it a little deeper, you realize like, okay, I shouldn't be distracting myself with this right now. So good job on me. Good job to me for catching that, cutting it off real quick. I entertained it for maybe like a minute or two, but once I thought about it, cut it off right there. So good job me. Good job. I'm growing. I'm learning. But speaking of distractions, I think the biggest learning from today, or the biggest topic I wanted to talk about, is cooking. So it's very, very interesting for me, but recently cooking has been, and actually I should start with this. In the past like year or two, or maybe even 3, cooking has been very, very beneficial to me. It's helped me eat healthier. It's helped me learn valuable life skills. It's helped me save money from eating out. There's so many benefits to cooking, but it's funny because I'm starting to kind of see I'm being a little dramatic here. I'm starting to see the quote unquote dark sides of like cooking, right? Because it's gotten to the point now where I have gained enough familiarity where I start to just impulse cook. That sounds so crazy to say, fucking impulse cooking, but like, I don't know, like I would literally, like the night before, I'll be like, oh, I'm craving like sweet and sour shrimp. So like that's what I did last night actually. I was like, for whatever reason, I was just randomly like, I'm kind of craving sweet and sour shrimp and rice and like white rice. And I fucking like spent all day today, like, okay, not all day, but like a good few hours, like making sweet and sour shrimp out of nowhere. Like I had frozen shrimp in my fridge, and then the ingredients I already had, it was like ketchup, vinegar, sugar, I forget what else you put in there, but it was like, I just whipped it up and I like ate it and I was like, this isn't very good, but also like, I didn't even want it that bad. Like, why the fuck did I make this? And it actually happened like 2 weeks ago as well, or maybe it was last weekend. I made pandan waffles and ube waffles because I just fucking was in an Asian grocery store and I saw the pandan extract on the shelf and I just impulse bought it, and I bought all the other ingredients. I fucking impulse bought a waffle iron, bro. And I was like, wait, like I was so, I don't know, my brain loves that feeling of like, I get fixated on something and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. Yeah, I'm going to buy this and then buy this and buy all the tools I need. And then the next thing I know, I like make it and I'm like, I didn't even fucking want this that bad. Like, why did I do that? So I think it's more of like a feeling thing rather than a desire to eat the waffle. I think my brain just likes the feeling of like moving towards something and like buying the tools necessary and then executing on it. It's really odd, but I need to like be careful about it now, and I need to start like putting some boundaries around that, because it's so funny, because like this is the type of shit I would do for like video games, or like just like decorating the house, or like getting instruments, or like random hobbies. Like it's that same pattern, bro. I'm getting that impulse to like do shit for cooking though, which is something which in the past has been so productive. I didn't even question it. I didn't even stop to think like, oh, because I kept I guess the cope of this whole situation is I keep telling myself, oh, cooking's like a life skill. It's a valuable life skill. Like whatever, like even if it turns out bad, like I'm learning stuff from it, which is true. I will say, with all of the shit I've cooked recently, the waffle, I actually made spaghetti a couple days ago for the first time, which is like meat sauce and spaghetti. I made the chili, or sweet and sour shrimp today. Don't get me wrong, I learned a ton there. I learned a ton. The food wasn't the best, albeit it was a good learning experience and I enjoyed the feeling of cooking for myself. But I think the danger there, or the caution I want to mention to myself, is like, be careful about letting these like random spurts of like inspiration or fun distract you from what you actually want to be doing. Because I think I didn't have my guard up, because I was like, oh, cooking's a beneficial thing. Cooking's a healthy thing. You know, it's so good in so many aspects. What can go wrong? And I realized, like, if I really truly reflect on the past, like, 3 weekends, genuinely the past 3 weekends, I want to say at least one full day from the past 3 weekends was just spent cooking. Whether it was, like, prepping ingredients, whether it was, like, prepping meal prep, whether it was making these random fucking things, whether it was, like, scrolling to, like, find the ingredient or find the tools I need or the ingredients I need. I spent so much time recently doing that. And I think I kind of like realized that today, like, oh my God, cooking has been my distraction, bro. Cooking has been my distraction from making videos, from making music, from playing guitar. And I'm like, oh my God, I totally didn't have my guard up, but I just realized it today. So I guess the learning from that is like, be on your guard, even for these things that seem quote unquote productive. Because yeah, if you were to ask me in hindsight, would I have if I were to relive those weekends, would I have spent the time to make the waffles? Probably not. Actually, I should reel it back a little bit. Because the spaghetti and the chili shrimp, or the sweet and sour shrimp, I don't regret making those, because those were actually good. I think the key, what I'm about to say, is the learning for me is I don't fucking like sweets. So don't go through the hassle of making the fucking sweet shit. Because number one, I don't even like it that much. I don't even want it that much. When you eat, number two, when you eat sugar, when I eat sugar, I start to crave it. So don't introduce that into your fucking diet. You're opening fucking Pandora's box. Number three, bro, it's like, I didn't even want it that bad. I don't know why I made that, honestly. I like fucking, yeah, I don't know, dude. Just so the learning for me is like, focus on not desserts. I guess that's the takeaway. Because like, yeah, I spent so much time fucking making those waffles, and I was like, bro, I don't even really like sweets that much. Why the fuck did I make this? So, I don't know. Actually, yeah, I think that's the learning. Because yeah, I made spaghetti and garlic bread. I made the sweet and sour shrimp, and I liked both of those. Those were good. Or I rather, like, it didn't turn out perfect, but like, I was satisfied afterwards. Like, I was like, okay, I learned some practical stuff here. Or like, the spaghetti actually turned out pretty good. Anyway, it's just so funny, dude. It's so funny because I never suspected cooking to be a fucking distraction. Like, I looked at it with such positivity and such, like, excitement, and, like, I had no, like, again, like I said, I didn't have my guard up at all, because I was like, oh, cooking is obviously productive, and it saves money, and blah, blah, blah. But it can be just as much of a distraction as gaming is. So be careful. I think that's learning to myself. Be careful. And also, be careful about your impulses, because like I said, I didn't even really want that fucking sweet and sour shrimp that much. The spaghetti, I kind of wanted it like a lot. So I think that was worth it. But like the spaghetti, or the fucking sweet and sour shrimp, no, don't fall for that again. It was a fun little tangent, but don't do that too much. Just keep it in check. Keep it in check. I think I gotta like balance out like a lot, like time box that shit. Oh my God, I feel like I'm at work. Time box that shit, because like I have not been editing videos as much as I wanted to. I have not been working on music as much as I wanted to, because I've been so distracted. All my time's been taken up with this fucking music shit. So anyways, that was the learning there. So the cooking actually relates to another learning I had, but I want to start with this other bullet point first right here. So it says, I've gotten good practice cranking out content. I'm getting experience of what it feels like to have backlogged content and where the bottlenecks will appear. Right now, my problem is I have so much footage that needs to be edited. So that's a good problem to have. But it's funny because this kind of ties into my distraction with cooking thing, right? So this is more a learning about content creation and my kind of patterns. So it's a good problem to have. I'm really, really glad I went through this exercise with the video thing, because now when I like work on like releasing music, I can have that experience of like what it takes to have a schedule to like create content and fully finish it, and then release it. But when I looked at this problem I had recently of I have too much footage that needs to be edited, and like I'm not editing them fast enough to release, it led me to really introspect about the type of content I've been filming recently. And I realized I had been filming a lot of travel slash cooking videos recently, which, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed filming them in the moment and it was fun. But the thing is, I started to notice a couple things about that where it felt a little like hindering to me. So number one, I think the friction of setting up to film when cooking was enough to like honestly kind of dissuade me from cooking at all. Like, here's the thing. I like did this whole like, what did I do? I did like this fucking avocado fucking salsa shit the other day. I did the onion cooking. I did the sushi making video, which I don't know if I would have edited this yet, so sorry if you're seeing this and it's not out yet. But, you know, I did all these cooking videos and it was fun. The first few ones were fun. But then I started to feel like, oh my God, this is such a chore. Like, there's so much friction to set up. I don't even know how to make the recipe. Like, the result's gonna be shitty anyways. Like, it's not gonna be fun to watch. And then the doubt started creeping in, you know, all those thoughts coming in. And then to top it off, I was like, oh my God. And then when I finish this, I have a fucking long ass video. I have to sift through all this footage to edit and whatever. It's gonna be such a pain in the ass. And then that really made me think, I was like, you know what? Why the fuck am I doing that? Like, why am I making this content that is causing so much friction to me? That's exactly how burnout happens. Don't fall into that trap, dude. Like, I was telling myself this, like, this is exactly how burnout happens. This is how you've gotten burned out in the past, through things like this. And then I thought about, like, how did I even get on this habit of like making cooking videos, making travel videos? Still haven't fucking finished editing my Japan vlogs or my Big Bear vlog. But I thought about it and I was like, look, what made me like want to film these things in the first place? I guess number one, I was open to new styles of content. I wanted to try things out. But the thing I realized was when I posted some of my like quote unquote travel vlogging stuff, like when I went to the Glendale Galleria, like that video got a good amount of views. And I think, dude, subconsciously my brain was like, ooh, this is the content that will get me views. I want to make more of this. And I fell into that fucking trap, dude. What did I say to myself about music? When you do it for others, that's the worst way to fucking make content. When it came to music and when it comes to this, dude, I thought about, I was like, oh my God, I'm falling in that trap again. And look, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm so bad or like I'm an idiot for falling into that trap. I was just letting it play out the way it would play out. And I'm looking at it in hindsight. So I'm not punishing myself. I'm not like talking bad about myself for it going down that way. I think I was really open to it. I was like open to trying new styles of content. Obviously, I learned a ton doing all that stuff. But I think now I need to like reel it back because I'm realizing I'm like checking in with myself like, oh shit, yeah, that content is like not sustainable for like my specific situation right now. Like I'm working a full-time job. Editing those videos is very laborious compared to like the talking to the camera style videos like what I'm doing now. Number two, I don't have all the skills that I don't have the skill level I want to be at in terms of cooking for some of these recipes. So like I film all this shit just for like a terrible outcome or result. And then I'm like eating it and I'm like, this fucking sucks. So I'm like, you know, I think the learning or takeaway is like, I just need to get real about some of those things and like realize that it's not worth it for the views if it's gonna burn me out and if the content's gonna be ass anyways. And actually, thirdly, it's been making me wanna cook less because every time I'm like, oh, I gotta film while I cook. It's like hard enough to just cook. Now I have to fucking worry about filming too. So there's all this friction building around it. So I'm starting to realize like, okay, like chill on the fucking like cooking content for a bit. I think like today when I keep talking about the fucking sweet and sour shrimp. When I made the sweet and sour shrimp today, I didn't film. I was just like, no, fuck it. I need to focus on what I'm doing. I've never done this recipe before. Fuck it, I'm gonna try it out. So yeah, so anyways, I think that was like a really good reminder to myself. Again, I don't think it's new. I've experienced this with music, but it was a good introspection moment of like, okay, don't fall into that trap. Like you've been down this before. Don't make content just because it's gonna blow up. Do content for you that is useful to you. And then it kind of tied in with the diary thing too, because I thought about it. I was like, look, am I really gonna fucking rewatch my shitty sushi making video, my shitty like chili shrimp video or whatever? Like the recipe's gonna suck. I'm not gonna make it again, bro. Like, so like, why the fuck would I want to watch that? So I don't know. I think that's another guiding principle to me too, is like, I want to try to make content that I myself would watch. And like I thought about some of these videos and I'm like, no, like I don't want to watch that. But it's kind of a different story. I will say though, like kind of a caveat to that is I want to make content too that is like serving the purpose of a diary. So like if it's like the Big Bear travel vlog, I think I'll make an exception for those sorts of things because those are sort of like special like events, or like those are things that like, you know, it's for me to remember the memories of like hanging out with my friends and how the experience was or whatever. So I think I'll make an exception there. But again, it's still serving that purpose of like, it's for me and not for the views. Okay, so I think I need to remember that. Remember that, please. Please, future me, don't fall into the trap of making content for other people, okay? This is my bread and butter right here. The talking to the camera videos, this is what got it started in the first place. So please be aware of that, future me. All right, I think that was the extent of everything I wanted to talk about. It was a little disorganized, but like I said, look, we're not aiming for perfection here. We're aiming for what is important to me, what's the learning, what's the takeaway, and am I gonna rewatch it? And I think I will rewatch this one, so. Anyways, let's hope TikTok stays around for good. I think the extension is just 90 days or something, but hope for the rest of my lifetime, TikTok will be here. Okay, obviously I know the app will probably, I don't know, whatever, apps die or whatever. But anyways, I think that's all for today. Have a great day, have a great night, wherever you are, future me. But I'll talk to you later.